All right, have a seat, Papa Squat. Here we are.
Hey, just so you know, Alex has his phone handy in case we have to Google something.
100%. 100%. If you hear anything, it's just us getting our answers fed to us. We have earpieces in as well.
AI.
We're not coming up with any of these answers on our own there.
AI.
We'll touch on that in a second. Ideal rep range for building strength, increasing muscle mass. This should be an easy one. This should be an easy one for us to answer. Did you want to start or do you want me to start? I know you started the last one.
I'll let you start.
All right. So ideal rep range for building strength and increasing muscle mass, two different things there. Now, I follow NASM's OPT model, and they have a strength phase that's broken down into multiple, right? But when we talk about increasing muscle mass, then I'm thinking hypertrophy, increasing the lean mass attached to the bone, right? And so that's going to be a little bit different. And then when it comes to the strength aspect of things, a lot of my strength workouts are specific in that regard. We're going to go looking for about 2 to 6 sets at a rep range of like 8 to 12, maybe 70 to 85%. And I may be off by a few percentages right through there of your 1 rep max. If that doesn't make sense to you, come talk to us. We'll make it make more sense. But essentially that 8 to 12 rep range, most of our sessions are going to be 3 to 4 sets right through there. And that timer is going to give you that. There's so many other variables, and I don't want to get on a tangent, but there's so many other variables that go into it. And that's the science that we bring without you having to do all that work, right? So we're talking about tempo. We're talking about limited rest, 0 to 60 seconds of it, maybe a 2-0-2 tempo. There's so many variables. That's where I want to touch on the strength aspect of it. Now, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Building strength and then building muscle they're two different things. They are, but they aren't. Don't get me wrong, there's carryover.
There is, yes.
Typically, someone, if they have more muscle mass, they're also stronger. Somebody that's stronger normally has more muscle mass, but it all comes down to how you're using it. Mm-hmm. Slow twitch, fast twitch,
yes,
all the things. Now, rep range, your lower rep ranges, say 2 to 5 reps, and like 4 to 6 sets, now you're building strength. But I feel like rest periods are just as important as rep ranges.
And I think, I always think of, when I think of strength, I think of like yes, and that's it.
Sitting, waiting, and then being like, okay, now I'm recovered.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
I was gonna say, because you're going heavier, you're gonna have those higher weight, which is going to be less reps, which is going to be more rest to recover right through there.
Yep.
But then you take a look at, like, let's say you go into supersets, then you're going to have no rest in between the supersets and maybe only up to 60 seconds afterwards. But that's where the crossover comes in.
Yeah.
You may be doing the same movements or similar movement patterns, but it's going to come down to your rest and your muscle twitches or your fast twitch, slow twitch muscles that are being worked in that workout.
Yeah. Now, as far as like building strength and building muscle. So basically ends of the spectrum here. Building muscle, we're thinking about hypertrophy, bodybuilding, things like that. Building strength, we're looking at powerlifters, explosive power, things like that.
Yes.
Now, if we're talking just functional fitness, right? Somewhere in the middle of just
functional fitness.
Somewhere in the middle of just wanting to have better quality of life, more energy, things like that, knowing that, hey, if I'm stronger and I build muscle, these things are going to be easier.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel like if somebody stayed, in the 8 to 12 rep range, and you could even expand a little bit, say 6 to 14 reps.
Yes, I like
6
that too.
6 to 16 reps.
Yep.
But if you're staying in there, you will see huge increases, especially if you're just starting. And then being intentional. You can stay in that same rep range and change up your rest periods, and it's going to change your muscle mass, or it's going to change your strength.
Yes.
Or like you were talking about tempo and stuff
like
that.
And I know a lot of my sessions, I host a couple of strength workouts, but you may come in and have a strength workout with me, and then you may notice the board says strength endurance, right? And that may be more like a 40-20 timer focusing on the tempo to slow you down with the reps, but the heart rate's going to get up and you're going to get that endurance increasing in that workout. So it sucks that there's not really like a clear-cut answer, because it really just depends on what you're training for, and they do overlap so much. Like so many times it's going to be like 0 to 60 second rest, 6 to 12 reps.
Yep.
1 to 6 sets. And you're like, that can be anything, right? So it's going to be based on your goals, what weight you're moving, and your functionality of those movements. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Mic drop. Moving on.